Tocher. I'm the co-founder, CTO and co-CEO of NCTech. The company's been running for over 10 years now. Working with i4, we started looking at, okay, how do we reduce the prototype that we had, that was a working prototype, how do we reduce that, make it look consumer grade, make sure it's low cost, easy to use, tactile, and with a beautiful finish that is going to sell hundreds of thousands of systems, that's going to work well and complement the gaming consoles that are in the industry. And that's why we approached i4D. When we announced the product, I actually announced it at a Google exhibition. It wasn't the world's first, but it was our new indoor mapping solution, and we called it the virtual reality camera, the VRC. And what I think it was a really elegant and beautiful way, in that not only did we introduce a heatsink, but we also introduced a fan system where we were using an induction, sucking the air through the heatsink and then blowing it out through the details around the side where the actual sensors are. So it looks like a detail and an aesthetic, but it's actually a very functional exhaust for the heat. Visuals in the hardware, critical to ensure our teams aren't, there's no conflict there happening between different specifications from different teams. And then the final renderings, very important for communicating to the customers and the clients to say, this is the product, this is what it's going to look like, and gauge levels of interest, because at the end of the day, we need to sell product and we need to make sure those visuals are representative of what the final product is going to be. And I think we achieved that with i4D. The final renderings were, the same as the final product almost. So, and it helped gain excitement and interest. And at the end of the day, that's going to help sales when we finally when you make that commitment to build. You need to make sure that there's a customer there to want the product and to use it. So, very important to have the visuals. The prototypes themselves, early days, you have basic SLAs, you have your 3D prints, but as you move forward, you get into the much more realistic models, and those models were great again as a sales aid. That when we took them to customers, rather than just show a render, we were able to take a product and say this is representative of the final product. And there would be very little difference between a mass-produced version and the version that they had in their hand at that time. So very helpful with the engagement with the customers. The product, as you work on anything, it's a concept to begin with, and that concept physically grew in size as we understood that we needed more electronics to fit inside to deal with different issues that we needed dealt with. But what I would say is that although the original concept, you get attached to it because that's what you're aiming for, what we ended up with was much more appealing than the original concept. Much more tactile and much more aesthetically pleasing to the look and to the touch. The reason why NCTech keeps coming back to i4D is they have a track record of delivering what they promise, and the team are exceptionally well skilled, where communication is excellent, and everyone's very professional. When we have very specific challenges that have a number of requirements, such as the quality or the timing, or there's an urgency, but more importantly, we know it needs delivered and it needs done right, then we'll always be reaching out to I4D to make sure that that gets done. I4D is based only minutes away from us, and that wasn't the driver to work with I4D, because we work with companies all over the world, up and down the UK as well. But it was fantastic to find a high quality industrial design company such as I4D on our doorstep, and to provide the products. And we've saw the products from other companies, and I'm aware of the other products that have been built by I4D, and I'm also in contact with the company owners of those other products, and all they have is but praise for the how they've been handled in their projects.